Hi, everyone. Welcome to my very first actual episode of my new podcast called Dance Journey. If I look sweaty, I am sweaty. If you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you're just listening to it, but oh my gosh, it's very hot. I don't know if it is actually hot out. It's rainy out, but it's hot in my car. And I just took a dance class. Well, I actually took ballet this morning with Jason, which I just love. I like love ballet, and I didn't used to always love ballet, which I'm going to talk about that later. But and then I just took a lyrical class with Malaya. And oh my gosh, I love that class. It's probably my hardest class. I don't know, all my classes are hard, but it's an hour and a half class, and she takes half the class to do like a really awesome warm up, like a stretch and strength warm up. And then she teaches like sometimes a minute and a half of choreo or only the last half of class, and she teaches it so fast and there's so many directional changes. I feel like she shows like eight counts in like a few times, and then everybody just like has it, or most of them have it. And I'm over here like, I don't know what's going on, but I don't want to ask too many questions because I want to slow the class down because everybody's like advanced, and a lot of people have been taking her a long time, so they're a little bit more like used to her moves and stuff, and I'm still growing as a dancer, working at my technique. I only really started getting committed to dance like about 6 years ago, minus a year when I was injured, which I'll also talk about later. Um, so yeah, it's just a hard class for me, but Malaya is very encouraging to me, and I'm very welcomed there, which is awesome, and I am growing from it. But yeah, I really liked the song they did this time, which was a song by Dido. Um, what is the name of that song actually? I'm forgetting now. Take My Hand. I think it's called Take My Hand. Anyways, hearing the Dido song, I just haven't heard Dido in so long, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I used to love Dido. So when she taught it to us on a Thursday, I of course only got like a quarter of it because I'm always just like trying to keep up with everyone and like go the right way and not run into anybody. Usually by the round two, I will have it a little bit better when she teaches it, but I still won't like really know all of it usually. And I hardly ever get to do a round three because I always miss her actual round one because I have another class. So I start my round one and other people's round two, and then I usually can go for a second time. That's a round three for everybody else. Anyways, so usually I get it a little better on the second time, but yeah, I really wanted to get it really good this time. So I actually like took an hour last night and like watched the video over and over and played the different parts and tried to figure out which foot was going where and which way I was turning and like what was happening in each move. And so I came back today and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even need to like watch anybody. I actually could stand in the front and like still do it," which I can do in other classes a lot, but usually not in hers. So I was pretty proud of myself. Like I knew that like I wasn't doing it super beautifully. I probably need another round, a couple more rounds to try to do that, which I'm not going to get. But I was just like, oh my gosh, I know all the steps. This is crazy. So I was really excited, but I was just trying to be chill, like this is normal. And then after a few times that my small group went, Malaya was like, Tracy, you know it. Like, I can tell you like this song or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I practiced it last night. She's like, I can tell. And then she like kind of gave this little speech about how that's what we should be doing. That's what she would be doing. If she didn't know the choreo, she'd be practicing at home if she knew she was going to come back another time to do it. So basically, what I learned from that is I should probably be doing that every time, which yeah, I should. I don't always take a video on the first week, but now I guess I need to do that and like watch it at home and try to work on it. Even if I don't love the song as much as I did this time. Although I actually pretty much always like the music that she picks, whether I knew it or not. Um, but yeah, so anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. That's what I just came from. It was awesome. And I actually have another class. I'm taking like a hip hop class in a little bit. But anyways, love Saturdays. Do a lot of classes on Saturdays. So anyway, my podcast. What are we talking about? So this is my new podcast. This is the first episode. This is called Dance Journey. I want to like I take a lot of dance classes in LA and I love dance, but I want to kind of share more about how I got into dance, how I started dancing, and I want to interview other dancers about their dance journeys, how they got started, why they like dancing so much, what kind of dance do they like the most, Are they trying to be a professional dancer? Do they just like doing it on the side? Do they want to do their own thing with it? Like, what are the goals, or do you just do it for fun? Or I don't know. I'm just curious about people's stories because I love meeting people and I love hearing people's stories and their journeys. So that's what this podcast is about. But in the beginning, I want to talk about my dance journey. So, like I said, I didn't really get super committed to dance till about 6 years ago in LA. But I do want to talk about my childhood experience with dance, which is not a lot, but I do have like a few key memories of it. So I want to just like dig into that. And so, yeah, I grew up in the Chicago area in Illinois, in the suburbs, Schaumburg to be specific. And yeah, dance wasn't like a huge thing around me. Like, I mean, maybe it was somewhere, but it wasn't really a huge thing in my circles. Like, I didn't have any friends that were like super into dance or doing dance competitions or anything like that. And the schools I went to didn't, when I was really little, didn't really have anything available for dance with dance. I also went to a lot of Christian schools when I was young. So, well, actually, most of my life, except for like third grade, because third grade was the only year I went to public school because my parents uh, didn't always agree on everything. So third grade I went to public school. And then my parents got divorced and then I went back to Christian school in fourth grade. I don't really know the whole story behind that actually, but that's what happened. Anyway, so yeah, at the Christian schools, not that dancing is not Christian, but I don't know, they were smaller schools and we didn't really have anything with dance there. But anyways, in the summer, um, I know when I was little, or I was like maybe around 6, I know that my mom put me in some sort of dance. She put me in a lot of things, I think, to figure out like what I liked. And so I remember she put me in piano, which I really hated, which is surprising because now I'm like, I feel like I would like piano. I love listening to piano and I would love to learn how to play the piano. So I don't know why I hated that so much when I was little. I think I only went like once or twice, but I didn't like it. She also put me in brownies, which is like the really little kid version of Girl Scouts. And instead of green, it's like a brown sash. Anyways, I did not like brownies either, which I don't know why I didn't like brownies, but I think you just like hang out with your friends, hang out with a bunch of girls. I don't know. But I do remember one thing that I liked about brownies, which is it was the first time I ever tried a kiwi. I was really little and I tried a kiwi fruit for the first time and I was just like, oh, I don't know, joy entered my life when I tried that kiwi. And I still love kiwis. I'm always sad if I go buy some kiwis, and then they're like bad or something. I'm like, oh, I love kiwis. They are a superfood and I super like them. Anyways, so yeah, besides trying a kiwi for the first time, I did not like brownies. And then my mom also put me in dance. She put me in some sort of summer program. I think it was like a week. I don't think it was like a long thing. I think it was a short term thing, but I did some sort of dance and I did some sort of tumbling class because we used to have, well, we have it somewhere still, like a VHS video of me in this recital, and I'm wearing like a little pink tutu dancing to a song called Give Me a Little Kiss. It's like, give me a little kiss, will ya, huh? I don't want to sing it all. I don't know it all. But we did this little thing with our mouths, like, give me a little kiss. And then I remember in the video, I'm like waving to my parents. And I also feel like I was like jumping in and out with my arms. And I'm like super awkward. I'm like, I was awkward back then when I was dancing. And I'm still awkward now when I'm dancing. But I just like it. I don't know. I looked really happy doing it. And I was in this line of like other girls. And then at some other point in the recital, I changed outfits and I came out doing like somersaults across a mat for like my tumbling class. Um, and whenever I watched the video, like later on in life, I would look at myself doing the somersaults, and I always would, when I was doing the somersaults as a 6 year old, I would like hold my arms back and like do it without my arms, and it looked super awkward and weird. And I would watch the video being like, why do I not even know how to do a somersault? Like, why am I not even doing a somersault right? But now I actually take a gymnastics class, and sometimes they have us do somersaults without our hands, without our arms, and you do hold them back. So I was like, oh, maybe I was just actually showing off my super cool version of a somersault without hands as a little 6 year old. So, anyways, that's my experience of when I was really little. It was just that one thing that I know of. And then besides that, I think I know I used to make up dances with my neighbors. I had like a next door neighbor that I was really good friends with, and then we sometimes hung out with her little sister. And I remember making up dances in her backyard to like New Kids on the Block songs. And like I remember specifically walking around her playground set doing a dance to Baby Baby by Amy Grant. And then, yeah, I remember having a lot of fun doing that. I think, what else did I do? I think I just made up dances with my friends. I remember I was with my friend Becca, who is a good friend of mine, and hanging out at her house, and we wanted to make up a dance to a song from The Lion King. And what song did we choose? We chose the hyena song, which is so weird. How does it go? It's like, I know that your powers of retention. I don't know. It's like I actually think I do know all the words if I tried. But yeah, the hyena song is like a dark song and kind of I would say it would be the most boring song to pick to make a dance to, but for some reason, I don't know, Becca and I were a really creative team together and we just both had a vision for that song. And I remember us standing next to each other and like doing this kind of like swaying or like I just know we made up a dance to I think the whole entire song, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure we also like played it at church and like performed it for people. Not like officially, but I think we did it like in the hallway for friends or something. So I remember that. I know that I think I was like in junior high and my mom put me in. I probably asked her if I could take this like it was like a week long like jazz dance summer camp type of thing, like not where you stayed overnight, but like near my house through like the community like park district. And I know I remember doing like chasses across the floor and our little recital in the studio was to the song My Boyfriend's Back. My boyfriend's back and he's gonna be in you're gonna be in trouble. Okay, I need to start taking voice lessons if I'm gonna sing this much on here. But anyways, yeah, so we did a dance to My Boyfriend's Back. We had all dressed like we were like in the 50s or something. And I remember some of my friends and family coming to that. And I remember my grandpa, who's a photographer, taking like all these pictures of me afterwards and making me like pose in different ways. And I'm pretty sure those pictures are somewhere. So I did that. I in later on in junior high and in I think the beginning of high school in the summers, I started going to MAD camp. We called it MAD camp. It stood for Music and Drama Camp. I don't even know how I heard about that. I think my friend at church, she was into acting, so then I got into acting, which that'll be a story for another day, but yeah, it was they had acting and dance, and so somehow we knew about this week-long camp. I don't remember if it was in Illinois or Indiana, but we so I started really liking going to that. So we would do that. I did that a few summers in a row, and I had sometimes I brought friends with me. I made friends there. We would have like auditions the first day, and we would audition for the acting parts as well as the oh, I don't know if we didn't have to do a dance audition, but you could like sign up for dance classes. So I always signed up for dance because I always wanted to do the dance portion. And I loved music and drama camp. I felt like I wanted to live there forever. Like when it was the last day, I feel like we'd always all go out for pizza, like the parents and me and like my friends after the last day of camp, and I just like never wanted to leave. I just like loved being there. I loved just like working on plays and dancing and like that was just like my favorite thing. I loved music and drama camp. There was one year where my mom was like, Tracy, you can either have a birthday party or go to music and drama camp because both of those things like cost a lot of money. And I pretty sure I like cried and was like, but I want to do both. I have a few stories in my life where I was like, but I want to do both. And like, I don't know, maybe I was a brat, but I really wanted a birthday party and I really wanted to go to music and drama camp. So I don't know how it worked out, but I ended up getting to do both. I think we just like did a more lower key birthday party, or I could only invite a certain amount of people or something like that. And I still went to music and drama camp. And my last summer at music and drama camp was, I think it was the summer after my freshman year of high school, because they had a high school program there and a junior high program. Anyways, that summer me and my friends learned to dance to Grease Lightning. We were all like really into Grease back then. I feel like we watched it at like sleepovers and stuff. There's a plane again. I don't think you can hear it because this mic is actually sort of good. Like it cuts out other sounds, I think. But anyways, yeah, we all really liked that dance. And that year, our school had like a little talent show, and people were really into like lip syncing back then and like doing dances with lip syncing. And so we really wanted to do the Grease Lightning, or maybe I feel like I really wanted to do it. The rest of them, maybe they did. I don't know. All I know is that when we practiced at my friend Amy's house, I'm pretty sure that I made us practice for like hours and hours and hours and was like, again, again. I'm pretty sure that probably they would not have practiced as many times if I wasn't there because I was really obsessed with getting it perfect. I remember that. I don't remember what they thought about me or if they like had fun doing that as well, or if they were just like, why is Tracy crazy? I'll have to ask them what they thought about that. But yeah, so we practiced that grease lighting dance. I think we even made up more choreography because I think we only learned part of it at the camp or something. I don't remember, but we practiced it a lot. I remember at one point we got a little too into it and my friend like hit their little like fancy light in the kitchen and the whole thing like crashed and broke, and I'm pretty sure we have that on camera somewhere. But anyways, that was my experience back then with dance. Oh yeah, and so then when I was in high school, so yeah, I always liked dancing, but I never really heard of like doing it more. Like in my life, we just signed up for whatever extracurriculars like our school had. So I don't think the schools that I went to like had any sort of dance program. So it was just never a thought in my head. It's like I didn't know you could like find a dance studio. Like I didn't know that those things existed back then. So I'm like, should I tell you like what year that was? I actually don't even know. Well, anyways, should I tell you guys my age? Oh, there's another plane. I should probably stop mentioning them because you probably can't hear it anyways. But um, yeah, I graduated high school in 2001. So yeah, this was like the 90s, um, the late 90s when I was in high school. So anyways, yeah, in high school, so in like grade school and middle school, I did a lot of the plays and acting. I kind of like got excited about acting in like fourth grade, and I'll talk about that like later, probably in the book I'm gonna write. But yeah, so when I went to this high school, I went to Wheaton Academy High School, which was like they had a really good performing arts program, and that was one of the reasons I really wanted to go there because when I was in eighth grade, I saw their musical production of Brigadoon, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so cool because they had this space called the Commons, which was like kind of where everybody like eats lunch. It's like a cafeteria. Like it kind of looks like this big warehouse area. But they would transform it for the musical where the stages were like all around, like kind of like on, I don't know, it's like two or three sides of the room. They would build these like really amazing like stages and sets. And so when you watched the show, you kind of felt like you were like in it, just like watching it everywhere. And I remember seeing that production and being like, wow, this is phenomenal. And even like the extras in it, like the people that were just in the choir or whatever, or in the chorus, like they had such good characters. It was like they were like all improvising and like having their little own scenes going on, like that you couldn't hear while the main characters were talking. And I was just like fascinated by that. Like, wow, like the perfection and the excellence of this is like just so good. So I really wanted to go there and I wanted to get involved in that. But like coming from a school, like I didn't know a lot of people. I had like one friend going into that high school. I didn't really know a lot of people there. And a lot of the people that went to Wheaton Academy came from Wheaton Christian Grammar School, and like just they a lot of them like lived in that area and kind of like already knew each other, or maybe the directors like already knew them. So I came in being like, oh, I have to have like a good audition to like get in this. So the first year, freshman year, they did Hello Dolly, and there was a singing portion of the audition and um, a dance portion. And somehow I was able to like do the singing audition good enough. Like I don't have a really strong like solo singing voice, but I do enjoy singing. I did end up being in choir in high school and stuff, but like, yeah, somehow, I don't know, we had to pick songs from the show and sing them by ourselves in front of people. And I mean, I did do that a little bit in middle school when I had to audition for stuff. So I was kind of used to that. So I did that. And then they had the dance portion of the audition. And I don't remember that part of the audition very well, but I just know that when the cast list came out and they like posted it on these like bulletin boards, and they had like all the people in the choir listed and are in the chorus. What is it called? In the chorus. And the people that were picked to be dancers had special asterisks next to their names, and there was like 10 of them, and I did not have an asterisk next to my name for the Hello Dolly show my freshman year of high school, and I felt really disappointed. I don't think I realized how much I wanted to be a dancer until I saw, and I think one of my friends got to be a dancer, and I was like, oh man, like that would be so cool to be like a special dancer person. So I just remember that year the rehearsals were really fun. I did enjoy being in the chorus and I did enjoy being part of the show, but I was like, next year, sophomore year, I'm going to be a dancer. I don't even think I took any dance classes. Again, I didn't realize you could like really find dance classes and like get better at dance. That wasn't something like that was in my head. I was just like, okay, I need to focus at next year's dance audition. Like I need to focus and like get my brain on super tight and rock that so I can be a dancer. I was basically the only way I prepared for that next year, which is so funny to me. I'm like, how did I even like, I don't know. But anyways, so in my head, I was like, I've done dance because I like did it a little bit at music and drama camp and took like 1 week of jazz in junior high. I thought I can dance. Like, how can I not get this audition? Like, how can I not get this part? So sophomore year they did Oliver. Also in the fall they did plays that were not really didn't really have music. And so I generally got a bigger part in the fall plays, but in the spring shows I mostly just like wanted to be a dancer because I wasn't trying to get some like huge solo singing role or anything. So anyways, I auditioned sophomore year for Oliver and had to sing the song portion, whatever. And then when it came to the dance portion, I just remember focusing so hard and I felt like I did it really well. I don't really remember what it was. I just was really focusing. And yeah, when the cast list came out, I had the asterisk and I was one of the 10 dancers. And I was like, yes, I was so excited. And it was really fun. And Oliver, like, we were all playing like little boy orphans. And I loved my little outfit with my hat. And they did a lot of swing dancing for some reason. And I remember, so they paired us, they had 5 guys and 5 girls. And actually, 2 of the guys were these twins from my school that I thought were really cute. And I actually had a huge crush on one of them. Um, which is funny because they look the same, but it wasn't about, like, their looks. Well, it was a little bit, but it was like, I like the one's personality or whatever. So, he was one of the dancers, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have such a good chance. There's only 5 guys and 5 girls. I could get put with him or his brother," And then, of course, no, I wasn't put with either. And I just thought, like, I was the smallest girl, so and they're kind of like smaller guys, so I thought I would for sure get put with one of them. But I actually got put with like the tallest guy who was someone I didn't know. And I think I don't remember who he was or his name or anything, but I think he might have been potentially he was the weakest of the guys. I think that's why I got put with him because I was the smallest. And we had got to do this really cool move where you would like link your arms. You would go back to back and like link your arms, and the guy would like flip the girl over his back. And that was so scary. I remember being scared at first to do that. But then once we did it a few times, I was like, that is so fun. I thought it was so fun. And somehow they ended up switching around our partners at some point. I don't know. I ended up dancing with one of the girls for some reason. And we had a lot of fun. And I remember like at school in the hallways, sometimes she'd be like, let me flip you over, Tracy. She was like a little bit bigger than me and like stronger. And she thought it was fun to like flip me over. So I remember us just like doing it at school randomly. It was just like so easy for us. Now I'm like, could I do that now? Probably if someone like showed. I mean, I probably could. Anyways, but I did that back then. It was really fun. That was my sophomore year of high school. And then my junior year, we did Bye Bye Birdie. And there happened to be a part in Bye Bye Birdie that was an actual part, but didn't like have a huge singing part, didn't really have like a solo singing part. So when I realized that, I was like, ooh, I could go for that part, which was the part's name was Ursula Merkel, I think. It was Kim, the main part's best friend. And so I definitely tried to get that part. I did the singing audition again. Oh, I really practiced for that singing audition too. I remember going to my friend Becky's house who played piano really well, and I was like, "Can you just, like, play piano for me with this and help me to, like, do help me to practice to do this really well?" Because some you definitely do better at an audition if you practice around your friends or people you're embarrassed around. Like, because I was always embarrassed to, like, sing in front of my friends or things like that. But if I push myself to just do it and to practice that way, then once I was in the actual audition with, like, the actual people casting, I was, like, a little bit less nervous. So that's kinda what I did, and I practiced at Becky's house. I was like I think I even put a little bit of dance moves in it because I saw other people do that before, and I was like, "I need to, like, really ham this up." So I really hammed up my singing audition. I think I sang Kids. Kids, I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. Is that from Bye Bye Birdie? I don't even know. I think that's what I sang. Now I can't remember. And I'm pretty sure that went well. I think they tested my vocal range on the piano after because I picked that song. It wasn't like a character that I was auditioning for. I just knew that like I could sing that song in my range and like really belt it out and put a lot of personality. And that's what I wanted to show to get the part that I wanted. I knew the part that I wanted didn't really have a strong singing part anyways. So instead of picking like Kim's part to sing or like a song that made more sense for my role, I just picked something that I could just ham up and sing really well, which I think was smart actually because it worked. So basically, sorry, I just gave that away. But anyway, so yeah, I did the singing audition, did the dance audition. I don't remember the dance audition very much for that year, but I know that I like focused again on the dance and everything. And then yeah, that year the cast list was online, which was exciting. And that was like 2000 or 1999, I don't know. And we didn't have a computer at home, which is a long story. I don't know. Maybe there were other people that also didn't have computers at home, but we didn't at that time, I don't think. Or maybe I did have my own laptop, but I don't know. For some reason, I couldn't get on the internet to see that. And I just remember like we were supposed to find out that night, like it was supposed to be posted. And I remember like cleaning, I think I was cleaning my mom's bathroom because I was like my chore for the week. And I was just like cleaning. And I was just like, so like, oh my gosh, I want to know if I got the part. And I remember my friend Ashley um called me because I was like, you guys got to tell me when you see it online. So she called me. She was like, Tracy, you got it. And I was like, so excited. Um, yeah, and there's more to that story because actually we did have like an acting. I think there was callbacks, and I had to act. I had to do that part as well, and yeah, it just like went really well. I'll have to tell that story another day because it's supposed to be about dancing and not about acting. But the acting portion went really well, and like, um, I don't know. I want to talk about that actually, but I had to do this like I had to scream really loud because I was like the main girl in the show that was the most obsessed with Conrad Birdie, who was like the rock star that all the girls were obsessed with, but I was like the most obsessed of like I was like the biggest of his fan club. So I had to do this like crazy scream, which I'm like not gonna do because it would like blow your eardrums out with this microphone. But I had to do like this crazy scream and I had to do this scene where I'm like on the phone with Kim. And I don't know, I just really hammed it up and did the scream super crazy. And I remember my friend's little brother who may have had a crush on me. I don't know. I don't remember the whole story, but he was watching because they would have us like watch when people were auditioning, which was kind of fun, but also kind of weird. And I remember like right when I walked off from like audition doing that like audition, um my friend's little brother, like, who was also auditioning for another part, like, came up to me and, like, picked me up and, like, spun me around and was like, "Tracy, that was so good." And it just made me, like, so happy, and then, I walked by the director who, like, was also, like, my choir director, so she knew me and, she kind of, like, smiled at me and was like, I don't know, I just, like, knew it went well, I knew I probably got it, but I didn't know until my friend called me and said that she saw it online. So, anyways, I'll have to talk more about my acting journey in another place. It'll probably be my book that I'm going to write. But Yeah, so I did get cast as that part, and then it was cool because I got to do a lot of dancing in that show as well because there was a scene where all the girls and Conrad Birdie sing the song "Got a Lot of Living to Do," which is like a really fun song from Bye Bye Birdie. And because I would think that Kim, the main girl, would be like dancing with Conrad Birdie, but she has like a boyfriend in the show that's like part of the plot that she got like this boyfriend. So I think I was still the main one obsessed with Conrad Birdie, so I got to dance with him in that song, and, like, I don't know, I just had so much fun being, like, the center of that, which now I'm like, I don't know, it's kinda stressful being, like, the center in a dance or being, like, the main part, but I don't know, I loved it, and, um, I remember my dad came to that show. So like my parents were divorced but my dad usually would come to like my musicals and stuff. And I remember him afterwards saying like um that I did a really good job, or he was like, you really had rhythm in the dancing. Like you had rhythm. I think he said that I had more rhythm than the guy that was Conrad Birdie. I shouldn't say that on here, but I think that's what he said. But like it made me feel good because I'm like, oh, my dad like thought I was good or whatever. Um so that was really fun, and then my senior year of high school, I ended up not auditioning for the spring musical, and that will be a story for another day, but, yeah, I didn't do it that year, which is pretty crazy, but yeah, I'll talk about that some other time, maybe also in my book, but, yeah, so I kind of, like that was sort of the end of, like, acting and singing and dancing. Because then I went to college, and I kind of thought about doing acting in college or something, but my mom really encouraged me to, like, pick something more practical, which makes sense, and, I mean, you're paying a lot of money to go to college, and I, uh I think I thought about going into film or something, but I had this, like, internship with this organization called Campus Crusade for Christ in Florida. I had this internship in high school. It's so weird that they were able to get me this, but we had like Wheaton Academy has this like thing called winterim, which is like this period of a few weeks in between semesters where you can do like special classes that are of your interest, or you can like do these little mini internships. And I told one of the people in charge that like I wanted to do something in film. And so somehow they got me this internship in the video department of Campus Crusade for Christ in Florida. So I literally just like flew to Florida to do this like few week, or maybe it was like 10 days. I don't know. I remember I got to go to Disney World, and then I like just spent a lot of time at the offices with these people, um, learning about what they do and like editing. I remember I got to kind of help or like watch with like all these big TVs, like editing video. And that experience, again, now I'm veering off from talking about dance right now again, but like that experience, made me think that studying film would be super boring because I was just like, I thought the editing part was fun, but everything else I was just like really bored. But now that I think about it, I'm like, what did I even really do that had to do with film? Like, I think we did like set up camera stuff, or like, I was just like, this is boring. This is really boring. I really liked going to Florida. I liked meeting all the people. And so I thought, like, I think I want to work with people, but I don't think I want to do like film. I think the film part is like boring. So I sort of like veered away from that and like didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But I ended up choosing marketing for my degree because I was like, well, business is practical and marketing is like more creative and like than just business. And I'm like sort of a creative person. So that's just like why I picked it. But yeah, so in school, I took a lot of like credits or units. I'm like, what is it even called anymore? I'm like, I took a lot of classes at school, and I worked a lot. I worked at Starbucks at the time because I had to pay for a lot of my school. I got financial aid and different scholarships or something, but I don't remember. But I did have to pay for a lot of it, so I had to work a lot. And so I didn't really have time to do any extracurriculars, so I didn't do like acting at school. And I went to a small Christian college called Olivet Nazarene. It's like an hour and a half south of Chicago. And that was great. Like I loved the school. I liked my classes for the most part, but yeah, I just didn't really do much with anything with the arts. I just kind of like I guess I just kind of forgot about it. And was just like focused on working and making money, and just doing my homework all the time, and I I was very busy. And like I was friends with my roommates and stuff, but yeah, school was just kind of like focus, 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 work, work, work type thing. Um, I did do some stuff with creative writing, which I'll probably talk about at a later point too, but I didn't really, yeah, nothing with like acting or dance at first. But then I think it was yeah, so I graduated a semester early. So my senior year of college, I was only there one semester, and it was a really fun semester because I was kind of done with all my hard classes, and I had a little bit of extra time. My dad had ended up giving me some money that semester because like he was able to in his life like bless me with a little bit of money during that time, and so I was able to work a little bit less, and then I had extra time, and I wasn't taking super hard classes. I wasn't doing homework all the time that last semester, and I had like a really fun group of roommates. Shout out Bethany, Karen, and Marissa. We had a great time that semester. um and anyways, point being is that that was the first time I realized I don't know, I guess I looked for a place to take dance class at. I don't even know why that idea came into my head. Like, I hadn't done anything with like acting or dance really for the past few years before that, but I just like wanted to take a dance class. So I found this place in the city in Chicago, and we were like an hour or so outside of Chicago, but I found a place called the Beverly Arts Center, and they had like a hip hop class. Um, and I was just like, I want to take this hip hop class. So I went and took this hip hop class, and I think it was maybe like anywhere between like 4 to 6 weeks long, but it was just like one class a week. I think it was on Fridays. And we learned, we may have learned one or two dances. I think it was just one for the whole period. And I might have done like two like times of it or something. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is it took us like 3 or 4 classes or so to learn like 1 minute dance, which is so crazy to think about now because I'm like, we learn a minute or so of choreography in one class in LA, but in Chicago at this like random center where I was taking dance, they taught us it very slow. But I really, really enjoyed it. And one of the songs I really liked learning a dance to was Kanye West Jesus Walks. That was like big. And I loved that song, and I loved that the teacher picked that song. And so I remember learning that, and then uh coming home to my roommates at night and like teaching them in our living room, and they like loved learning it from me. So that was really fun. It was like I got to do like two versions. The version I got to learn it, but then I also got to like teach it, which I also really enjoyed. So that was super fun time. And I do think there was one time because I was also working at Starbucks, and I am pretty sure that I wanted to show my friends at Starbucks the dance, but like we needed to play the music somehow. And so for some reason, the easiest way to do that, I don't know why this was the easiest way to do it, but I definitely like pulled my car out of the parking lot and like close to the side of the store and had my friends come out of the store, like my friends that I worked with. Like they stood right outside the door of Starbucks where I parked my car right in front of the store. And I turned on my car and like opened the door or the windows or something and like blasted the song from my car and like did the dance on the sidewalk for them, which is like hilarious. Like to me, I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. Were there like customers around? It's so weird. But maybe they can remember it. Probably not. But I thought it was super fun doing that. I'm sure they like were entertained by that. So yeah, I was very excited about that dance class. And then yeah, so that was kind of like the end of my college experience. And uh there was a point, so like I was graduating early. I took a lot of the classes in my major my freshman year even. So I was like on a pretty fast track to like finish everything. But by my senior year, I kind of realized I didn't really want to do marketing anymore. I had some internships and experiences where I was like, I don't think I really like marketing. Like I like marketing something that I'm passionate about, but I don't really think I want to work for like a marketing firm and market like a bunch of random stuff or that I don't care about. And like, I was just kind of conflicted about what I want to do with my life. And I remember like kind of venting about this to one of my roommates, and she was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just want to like move to Hollywood and be an actress," which was also funny that I said that because I also like, I think I was maybe trying to get extras work my senior year of college a little bit because I feel like one of my friends did do headshots for me. So maybe I was sort of thinking about acting at the end of college a little bit. But yeah, I was like, I just want to move to Hollywood and be an actress. And my friend, my roommate was like, why don't you just do that? I'll just do that then or something. And I was like, Karen, you can't just do that. Um, which now I think is kind of funny because I very vividly remember being like, you can't just do that, and like kind of shouting that at her in our living room. And it's just funny because I did end up doing that eventually, but there's a little bit of a journey of how that happened. And again, this podcast is not really about acting, it's more about dance, but that's kind of like, I think that's everything from my dance experience as a little kid. My mom also used to call me Tracelina, her ballerina. She used to call me Tracelina, my ballerina, who sucks her thumbelina. We now take off that last part because this is embarrassing. Like I sucked my thumb for like a very long time, like longer than you're supposed to. I think it was till like third grade, but it's like really embarrassing. I definitely tried to hide it. I don't even know how someone is like addicted to that. It's like very weird to me to think about now. But um yeah. So she used to call me Tracelina, her ballerina. And that's just funny that she used to call me that because I didn't really even do that much dance as a little kid. I did like that one little dance class and I kind of liked dance. And I don't even know if I don't think I ever really took ballet, but that was the name she came up with for me. And I think it was just like prophetic because I was going to eventually really like ballet. Um, but yeah, so in the next episode, I want to talk about um, when I first moved to LA, what kind of got me to move to LA, and my experience with dance when I first moved here, which was also not a lot because like I didn't come to LA to do dance. I came to LA to do acting. And then it wasn't until many years later that I actually started getting committed to dance. So I want to probably in the next episode I'll talk about my experience with dance when I first moved to LA because I have some interesting stories about that. And then the episode after that, I think I will talk about what actually led me to getting like committed to taking dance classes and growing in my dancing in LA. So that's it. If you listened all the way through, thank you. I know this is probably a little like this is my first one, so bear with me. I'm getting used to doing this. But yeah, so that was my childhood experience with dance. And yeah, excited to share the rest with you soon. And I'll let you know when the next episode is ready. Bye.